In today's video, I'll be breaking down the cost of generating content on WordRocket. Let's start by generating each one of the most popular templates. First is going to be the All-in-One SEO Generator 2.0, which allows you to generate content with images. So we're going to use the Claude Sonnet 4 model. We're going to try to generate about 3,000 words. This is going to be the default settings for all of the templates. And for this example, of course, we're going to generate with images. So we're going to do 5 images, so the maximum amount of images you can generate. The next template in which we'll be using is the real-time blog post generator. And this template is going to do research on the query in which you enter using Perplexity AI or GPT 4.0 mini. And then based upon that information, it's going to use it to write an article. So you're doing 2 API calls here. So again, we're going to calculate the cost of both of these API calls. So for example, this search query is best iPhones of 2024 and 2025. And we're going to be using Perplexity Reasoning Pro, which is the best model for research, also the most expensive. Since this is going to be the highest you'd ever have to pay, it'd be much less if you're using GPT 4.0 mini or Perplexity Sonar Pro. But again, we're using Sonar Reasoning Pro. Next up, we'll be testing the competitor analyzer template. And this template allows you to enter in competitors from top ranked articles or search queries, and then we'll scrape those competitors, write an article based upon the top ranked articles. Now, you don't have to pay for the scraping because that is something that we take care of. So every URL that you enter and you scrape, it costs you $0. So again, the way that it works is you just copy over, or you search up your top ranked competitors and copy over some of the high ranking URLs. And then we're going to analyze those URLs, create a super prompt based upon the weaknesses, the strengths, the content analysis, and then use that to write an article. So again, you're not paying for any of the scraping that happens beforehand. Only thing you're paying for is the actual written content. As you can see, once it's finished scraping, you'll be able to get a content type, target audience, readability, key topics, SEO analysis, strengths and weaknesses, and content gaps and opportunities. The last template in which we'll be testing is the product Roundup article generator. And this allows you to create comprehensive product comparison articles for Amazon product comparison or just any sort of product comparison article in which you're creating. So the way that it works is the best way is to do a web search. So we can do best running shoes of 2025. And then again, we're going to be using Perplexity AI to search up the content and then using Claude Sonnet 4 to then write the actual content itself. So while that's being generated, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the cost in which we incurred. So we can see that the cost for our web searched article in which we use Sonar Reasoning Pro, that was 0.0162, which is less than 10 cents for the API call. And then the actual content cost us 0.14. So in total, it was about 16 cents for the article that we generated using Perplexity AI and Claude Sonnet 4. So keep in mind that, again, this was a very in-depth article that we were able to get back. It's inclusive of internal links, and it's a very long and in-depth article. So this article, again, because we're using live web search and we're using Sonar Reasoning Pro, it cost us about 16 cents. So if you were to write 100 articles using the Sonar Reasoning Pro and using the real-time blog post generator with web search enabled, it would cost you about $16 for every 100 articles. And then the next article that we generated was the All-in-One SEO Generator with images included. So let's go ahead and take a look at that article. So as you can see, it is an article about the best watches under $1,000, and it actually has baked in images throughout the article. If we copy it over to Markdown, we can see the actual images, and these are beautiful images. And as I mentioned earlier, the images are included for completely free. So these images you do not pay for. We incur that cost for you. And as you can see, these are beautiful images with text that looks good. The images look very relevant. And you also have a custom HTML element embedded throughout the article. And this article, as you can see here, cost us about 6 cents. So this is less, again, than 10 cents. So about 6 cents per article. So again, let's do some math there. 0.0664 times 100. For 100 articles in which you get internal links and images, it costs you $6. And that's the reason why we decided to allow users to bring their own API key, because in the long run, it's much less expensive compared to if we use our own API key and then we bore that cost onto you guys. And we can see here the price for the content analysis article, in which we were able to scrape live URLs and use that to create a super prompt, only cost us again 3 cents. So if we were to create 100 articles, that would only be $3. And if we wanted to create 1,000 articles, that would be $30, which is extremely affordable and much less in comparison to some other big tools. And the quality of the articles that you're getting back is on par, or in some cases even better. For the last template in which we used, which was the product Roundup article, it cost us 0.01, so about 1 cent to do our research, and it cost us about 17 cents to write the full article. So in total, this was an expensive article because, again, you're doing research using Sonar Reasoning Pro, and then you're writing the article itself. So this is a little bit more expensive, so about 18 cents per article. But overall, it is much more affordable to use your own API key when you're using WordRocket. You get a lot out of the monthly subscription as well, especially if you decide to get a paid membership. If you would like to try out these templates for yourself, just head over to app.wordrocket.ai. You can sign up for completely free, enter in your API key. And if you always want to make sure you're monitoring your usage, just head over to OpenRouter, hit the hamburger menu, go to activity, and you can see all of your API calls as well. I hope that you guys enjoyed this quick rundown of pricing. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I will see you in the next video. Take care.